They told me I had kidney cancer. They also told me that after surgery I would not be able to lift anything heavier than a milk jug for 3 months. Nothing heavier than a milk jug for 3 months. Now, most men my age would give up. Now, I'm 64. Now, most men my age would probably give up, but for me, that's just not me. It's just not in me. Listen, I'm somebody who's been active all his life. I've been lifting weights to stay strong and stay fit. I've done Spartan races. That's, obstacle type races where you're jumping over stuff, you're lifting stuff. So this is something that's been part of my life. Fitness is always part of my life. Me, I refuse. I refuse to give up. 7 months later, 7 months down the line, which we are now, I'm finally lifting. I'm lifting heavy weights. I'm doing plenty of push-ups. I'm up to 100 push-ups. And yeah, while it's a long road and I still have a lot to go, this is a start. After surgery, my body was really, really weak. I was extremely frustrated. And here's the main thing, right? So I'm somebody who I feel like I have a warrior spirit, right? I feel like I have to protect my family. If something comes up, I want to be the strong one. I want to be the one that can take charge. And for the first time in my life, I felt extremely, extremely vulnerable because if something would have come up and I had to step up as a man and someone to protect his family, I couldn't do that. And I had to admit to myself that I couldn't do that. That's one of the hardest things, to even admit to one. It's a hard pill to swallow, you understand, when you're in a position like that where you can't lift anything heavier than a milk jug. Now, kidney surgery it's crazy, but here's the craziest part. Let me explain how I actually found out that I had kidney cancer. So it started because I had a little thing on my neck right over here. I thought it was just a little bit of a pimple, small pimple. And, I asked my girlfriend if she can just, pop that for me. And, she came over, she tried to pop it. She goes, no, it's not ready. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll leave it. And it wasn't very big. She was just small, just like size of a little zit. So, yeah, a week or two went by, started growing just a little bit. I said, what about now? Try it now. She says, no, it's still, I can't get it. So little by little, she noticed it started growing. She says, listen, you really should go to a doctor. You should get this checked out. And I said, no, it'll go away. But then another couple of weeks, it grew to the size of about a jelly bean. She goes, listen, you're going to a doctor. So at that point, I agreed. We went to a dermatologist. The dermatologist looked it over. She cut it out. Her and her crew, they cut it out. Yeah, they patched me up. And, about a week later, doctor calls me. They took the sample, they did a biopsy on what they cut out. A week later, she calls me and says, the biopsy results came back. It's kidney cancer. Now, she was straightforward. She was not beating around the bush. She was right to the point. It's kidney cancer. And at that point, I'm like, I froze for just a second, but I wasn't totally surprised. And I'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, so I tell her, okay, so what's next? What do I do? And she says at this point that she's going to make an appointment for me to get a CT scan. And then from there, she's going to recommend a couple of doctors that I should go to. So that's what I did. I went to the CT scan. I got a CT scan, took the results to the doctor she recommended, spoke to the doctor for a little bit. The doctor didn't feel that he could handle this situation based on the scan results. He recommended me to another doctor. I went to see that doctor, several doctors to discuss. They told me exactly what was going on. They ordered a PET scan in addition to the CT scan. Came back, they saw the results, and they confirmed, yes, it's definitely kidney cancer. And at that point, I had to make a decision based on what the information that they gave me, they shared with me. And yeah, the end result was the kidney had to be removed. So once the kidney was removed, that's where it all began. For me, strength isn't just about lifting heavy weights, right? It's about showing up every day, even when the weight's light. It's about slow progress, working harder. It's about knowing when to pause, when to listen, and when to keep pushing forward safely. Now listen, I started really small, right? When it was time for me to get back into action, I couldn't even do one push-up. This is a man that can do, or used to be able to do 150 push-ups. Now I can't do one push-up. So I definitely had to start small. And the way I started was doing wall push-ups. Now every week, now I would do wall push-ups, and it's about, showing up, just being consistent. I would track everything down. The key here is you're not going to gain all your strength back in a minute. It's about being disciplined. Being disciplined is not all about strength. It's about showing up, knowing when you're supposed to stop, knowing when you can move forward, and knowing when you can push harder, safely. If you're in your 50s, your 60s, just remember that setbacks don't define you. Surgery, injury, fatigue, these are all tests of your identity. Do you give up? Do you show up? What do you do? Remember that strength isn't just physical, it's also mental. You have to make sure that you're mentally strong. This is what's going to get you through everything. Hey, listen, I'm Manny Garcia, and I refuse to give up. Kidney cancer is not going to get the best of me. It doesn't get the best of me. It hasn't gotten the best of me. I refuse to give up. Be consistent. Setbacks is not the end. Setbacks are part of the journey. Now I'm going to leave you with this. Live for today, because tomorrow may be gone. But remember yesterday and then ask yourself, was today worth it? I'm Manny Garcia. Don't forget to subscribe. Put your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.